Hello, thank you all for being presenters at the NDLA Unconference. This training will show you more about using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, also called BBCU, as a presenter. If you have questions after you view this session, you can view more knowledge-based items in the link below this video, and you can also contact me, Jessica Gilbert Redmond, with any questions. Before we begin, I just want to go over a few of the reminders and important notes that we have. Please make sure that all PDFs are to me on or before the due date. All materials must be submitted in PDF form to ensure that they look as you intend them to. Do not insert animations or transitions, as these won't work when they are uploaded into BBCU. I recommend that you look over the slides after you have converted them to PDF to make sure they look exactly as you intend them to. If you need instructions for converting a PowerPoint deck to PDF, check out Erica's how-to document and our Notes for Presenters Google document that you see here. A couple other important notes about using BBCU. BBCU requires that you use either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox as your browser when you connect to a session. We recommend that presenters phone in for their presentation to avoid connection issues, and I'll show you how to do that during this presentation. So, now let's go ahead and look at Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. As you can see, we have two rooms set up for you here, and I'm going to go into room 1. The first thing you need to do is put in your name, and I'm going to be test presenter. When you first log in, you will be asked to set up your audio-visual equipment. This is asking me to check my audio. You can see that it is working. It sounds great, so I'll say yes, it's working. I don't have a video camera set up to this right now since I'm recording my screen, so I can go ahead and skip this. Otherwise, it would show you a little picture of yourself from your video camera that is recording. When you first log in, after that, you'll be asked if you'd like to take a tour. I recommend that you do take the BBCU tour the first time you use one of the practice rooms, but I'm going to skip that today. Back to how to use your phone for your presentation, there are a couple of ways to do that. You can click the three little bars that are up here in the upper right to open this basic menu, and then click Use Your Phone for Audio. This will give you the phone number to call and your personalized PIN. Do not share this PIN with anyone else, as it is connected to your specific session that you show in your browser, so that it follows you as a speaker. If you're speaking, it will show your screen. The other way is to click the purple arrows in the lower right over here. If we click this little gear, you will again be able to see the phone number and the PIN for your personal session right here. If you ever have issues, you can also set up your camera and microphone from this settings section as well. Since we're in here, let's go ahead and look at a few of the options that we have in this menu. One that you'll want to keep an eye on is the chat. If you are in here in chat, you can speak to somebody, and they can speak back. If this does not distract you, you might keep this up during your presentation just in case anybody asks questions. But feel free to go ahead and close this menu if that does distract you during your presentation, and then just open it if you have time for a Q&A afterwards. This box here with a little arrow coming out of it is how you will share files. You should not have to worry about this option, as we will have your slides uploaded for you, and we will also pull it up for you when it's time for your presentation. However, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the process just in case. So the first thing you do is click Share Files. You can drag and drop, or you can click Add Files. You can see that it is now converting the slides and making sure that they are ready for BBCU's process. And it finishes loading. Once it is finished loading, make sure that it is selected. It'll have a black bar. There will be more than one during that day. And click Share Now. The slides will not be shared until you go ahead and click the slide that you want to begin on. I am going to go ahead and select the first slide. and it will begin sharing. I am practicing with last year's Unconference main room slide, so that's why it says the 2018 conference, just so that we have something ready to go so that we can show you how to use all the resources that you need. Back in the main area, in the bottom middle, you'll also see options for your audio, your video, and an option to raise your hand. I recommend that you use the practice rooms to test your audio-visual equipment prior to the day of the Unconference. We will also have a presenter green room available to you that you can go into to test your audio with a moderator on the day of the Unconference, just in case you encounter any problems. If you need to turn your audio on, this will automatically be muted, so you turn it on and off here. You just click it, and it will make sure that your audio is still on and start sharing. I'm not going to click it right now because my audio is sharing to another program. You can also share your video here. The raise hand is if somebody has a question. They can raise their hand, and there will be a little tone for you as the presenter, and then you can or they can lower the hand as well. Not very many people actually use that option, so it shouldn't be too much to be concerned about that day. There are two main things to keep track of while you're presenting: the timer and your slides. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer here. A moderator will start this timer when you start your presentation. It will always show up down here, and it will count down the time that you have available. You will be responsible for advancing your own slides during the presentation when you are ready to move on. To do this, you will use the arrows that show up near the bottom of your slides here. Click the arrows to move forward and backwards as you need to through your slides. If you have time for a Q&A after your presentation, be sure to check back into the chat section to see if anybody has put any questions in there after or during the presentation. You can, again, leave this open throughout if it's not too distracting for you. Please let us know if you have any questions, and thanks again for being an NDLA Unconference presenter.